Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Tools for Assisting Clients with a Competitive Analysis. Your microphones and telephones are currently muted to eliminate background noise during the program. We'll pause for questions throughout the presentation. To ask a question, type it into the question box on your control panel, or if you have a working microphone or have dialed in, raise your hand by clicking on the hand icon on your control panel, and I will unmute you. Today's program is being recorded and will be available through WebMQS in the Shared Resources section. So let's get started. I'm very pleased to introduce Catherine Moody and Scott Miller, business advisors from our Jamestown SBDC. Welcome, guys.
Welcome. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you. Hi. Hi. Greetings from snowy Jamestown, New York. So today we really wanted to share some information with you about conducting a competitive analysis with our clients and provide you with some resources and tools that you can take back and use when you're meeting with clients. Just get in here so we can proceed down. So to start off, just so we're all clear on what we're talking about today, competitive analysis is defined as the process of discovering your competitors' strengths and weaknesses as they relate to your own products or services in your business. And there are both traditional and digital methods of doing this. And so a traditional method of doing a competitive analysis might be going and shopping, actually going into the competitor's store and touring, doing some secret shopping. It might be the focus groups, things along those lines. What we're talking about today are going to be these digital and social media methods of conducting a digital competitive analysis, and we're going to be sharing tools on how to do that.
Yeah, why are we doing this? We're going to see, we want to get to see what the competition is up to and see what they're offering as far as products and services. We can benchmark ourselves against the competition. And we can do that through things like our likes, followers, content that we're putting out there, what type of engagement that we're getting. We can see what actually works. When we post something, we just hope that people engage with it. But with these tools, we're going to be able to actually see what type of results we're getting from our post and what type of results the competition is getting from the content they're posting. We really want people to be proactive, and this is something with these tools, you can be proactive not only in your marketing, but maybe in something that is a new offering or a new product or something that might be happening across a different part of the country or something. You might be able to find it using these tools and bring that to your area and just have like a whole new product or service to offer to your customer. The one thing that these tools also do is let you see trends. And that could be past, present, and future trends. And we really want to move forward and not repeat the same mistakes that we may have in the past, and also be able to take advantage of maybe where our customers are, that last bullet point there, where our customers are weakest.
So let's talk about the steps that we would go through with clients in guiding them to conduct a competitive analysis of their digital marketing strategy. So the first thing is really to help them identify their competitors. An interesting thing will pop up as you start using some of these tools. Quite often when I've used them with clients, they'll look and they'll say, oh, I didn't even realize that was one of my competitors. I didn't even realize that this business existed, or that Google was seeing me as competing with this website or this individual. So there are direct, indirect, and search competitors, and each of those three are different, and it's important to kind of track and be aware of all of them. So a direct competitor is another business that has the same or similar product, and they're targeting either the same location and or the same customer audience. So they're very, very similar to your client. An indirect competitor would be offering a substitute product, and the example there is, if I sell, I manufacture eyeglass frames, or I sell eyeglass frames retail, then my indirect competitor would be someone who sells contacts or manufactures contact lenses. So it's a substitute product. And then there are search competitors, and these may be organizations that are quite different from your client, but they are ranking for the same keywords. They use the same types of keywords in their website and in their content. They're targeting a similar audience. And the example there is someone who perhaps is a safety consultant, and this is a for-profit business, but from a search perspective online, they are competing for keywords. They're competing for ranking space against big names like OSHA or perhaps the Department of Labor, big websites that have a lot of momentum behind them, and that can be difficult. So it's important to know and identify your competitors. The second step is, once you know those, identify maybe 4 to 6 competitor URLs that you want to track. Then next, you're going to decide what data is relevant to your goals and what you're trying to accomplish with the competitive analysis. A startup company is probably going to be looking at different information than a company that's been around for a long time and they're looking to gain a larger market share, or they're looking for ideas and areas to grow with a new product line. Number 4 is choose your tools, and that's really what we're going to be spending a great deal of time in this webinar, is providing you with sort of a menu of tools, any of which you can use. We're not going to be promoting any one particular tool that you use. We want to provide really sort of a variety that you can look at and find the ones that are going to be the most relevant to the information you and the client are trying to find, and what's going to be the most user-friendly. We chose to show the tools that are either very affordable or maybe they're pricey, but they have a free trial period that can be utilized to do an initial search. And then the last step is to monitor and adjust consistently, and that's really very important, because once you've gathered all this information, you need to implement it, and then you need to see whether the strategy that you're going forward with, whether the way you're implementing this data is working. Does it map back to an actual return on investment of your time and perhaps money that you're spending on pay-per-click ads or Google ads? So you must monitor. We're always talking to clients about the fact that you can't manage something that you're not measuring. So you have to measure, and you have to look consistently and be committed to following through.
One thing that we also want to look at is what type of platforms that we're using for each business. And the type of platform or digital media that we may be on will be relative to the products and services that we're offering, and also what market we're serving. Are we serving a local market, a regional market, a national market? Are we business to business or business to consumer? One thing that we've also developed with our social media guidebook, and this is a book that every center should have, and we're just going to switch over to that now and show you this, the competitive analysis worksheet that's linked in is here. This is something that's from the SBDC statewide page, and it's a single page from the social media guidebook that we put together here at the Jamestown office. And this is something that you can print out and give to your clients and have them look at their different social media platforms and look at the competition and start getting a feel of where you are. Part of what we talked about is benchmarking and seeing where we are. So we want to kind of start this, like say we're starting on November 14th, and we'll go 2 or 3 months down the road and check these again against our competition and ourselves and see if we're making any progress. This is one thing that Kata mentioned, this would be more of like a traditional method of doing a paper count here, whereas some of the tools that we're going to give you would just automatically track these for you. But this is a great tool that you can give to your client and that you can give them a task and will provide them insights into where they stand against their competition.
Mm-hmm.
And really, kind of build off that is, you really want to look at where you are in your market for the type of business that you're offering and the geographic location of where your customers may be. We want to know, like, are you local? Are you a county or multi-county, regional or national? And really what type of industry you're in will influence the type of social media or the platforms you may be engaged in and how you're conducting a business. Again, whether that's business to business or business to consumer. And what you can do is we really want to dive into this and know, like, where our customers are, where they're coming from, and what sectors they're in.
So throughout the digital competitive analysis, we're looking at each of our clients' competitors' content, how they are distributing in their information, and how they are positioning themselves in front of their potential customers. So we're going to look at all their social media posts. What kind of images are they using? Are they utilizing video? How often are they posting? Is the competitor posting 2 or 3 times a week, 2 or 3 times a day, or 2 or 3 times a year? And then how much engagement are they getting? What kind of hashtags are they using? Another important piece is their articles. Both owned and earned are important. So owned would be the articles that they're publishing on their own blog, on their own website, where they're completely controlling that content. It can tell you a lot about their strategy. It can tell you a lot about who they think their target audience is. The earned articles would be the mentions in the news and on other websites or other places that are linking to or mentioning this competitor. It can tell you a lot about how this competitor is doing, what their reputation is like, and are they gaining some good public relations, speaking at conferences, things like that, stuff that you want to be aware of. Within their website, it's important to know what are the most popular pages on your competitors' websites, where are their customers going, and is that deliberate? Sometimes what we find out is we find out that our competitors perhaps aren't doing a very good job, and there are a lot of things that we could do better, and it's good to know those things. It's also good to know what they are, in fact, doing very well. Do they have good opt-ins and lead capture forms on their website? Well, if they do, then you know that your client needs to have those as well. Again, news and events, just kind of tracking and seeing where they're being mentioned in the news, where they're popping up. And then whenever possible, it's great to be aware of how the competitor is utilizing email to communicate with potential customers, with their prospects, and how they're utilizing email in their sales funnel. What are they communicating with leads along the way as they try to turn people into either new customers or to nurture existing customers to make future sales? Whenever you can kind of get into that email sequence to hear what they're saying, there's a real advantage to that.
Yeah, email still has one of the highest conversion rates of openings and interest among users that are getting your email content.
Right. So some other things to consider here, just on the competitors' websites. Are you seeing calls to action on their social media posts? Are they asking their audience to purchase their product, or are they asking the audience to engage with them and share their information? How well are they really using it? If you have read our social media marketing guidebook, you'll know that the author Simone Selstrom mentions that rule of thirds, where you're not constantly saying buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, but you're providing relevant and valuable and educational or inspirational information as well. That's called the rule of thirds. So are the competitors doing a good job with the information that they're putting out, either through social media or their blog? Are they following the rule of thirds, and are they providing value to the customers, or are they really just sort of blowing their own horn and saying buy my stuffs? And then also just kind of be aware, is the information that they have out there accurate? What are their reviews like on some of like the Yelp and Google, some of these review sites? Do they have a good reputation? And if there are some negative reviews there, are they answering them, and how are they answering them? Are they doing it appropriately? So basically in all of this, what we're saying is you want to ask how does this competitor have a competitive advantage over the client? Do they even have a competitive advantage? And if so, what is that advantage? And how can the client distinguish their business from their competitors? And what do customers think? What do customers think of the competitors? What do customers think of your client's business? So help them look at that and really be asking themselves those 3 questions.
Moving on to getting into where we're going to actually show you the tools and talk about those now. One thing is the pros and cons with these tools. We've mentioned a little bit about this, that there really is no best tool for this. It's something that you're going to have to explore. As Kate said, a lot of these have free trials or just free in general. But this is the thing where we want you to go in and work and explore and play with some of these and really kind of think that they're not as difficult to work with as one would think once you learn how to kind of decipher the dashboard. That's what all of these tools have, what they're called a dashboard. And that's where you're starting from with analyzing the information that you're provided. And really, it's just a matter of being able to take each section into its own component and break it down from there. So if we go ahead to the next slide, and here's some of the tools, and we're kind of differentiating these between ones that primarily monitor your website and website content, and then there's a whole nother ones that are called like social monitoring or social mentioning on the right-hand side. Again, this is just a small example. These are some of the ones that we were going to cover in this, but if you just do like a Google search and say like best social media tools, you're going to get, lists and lists and lists of things to do.
Yeah, there are dozens and dozens of them.
Yeah, but we kind of chose some of these as we like some of, whether it's the interface or the information that they provide. And again, it's free to start and move on from there, and what really is best for your customer, because I'm sure as counselors, we have a wide variety of businesses, from local businesses to people that may be selling internationally, and we're talking tens of thousands of dollars for revenue versus maybe millions of dollars. And the client that's spending millions of dollars, they might go with a high price item like RivalIQ, and someone that's local may just use HootSuite for free and just monitor some local competition like a couple other restaurants or something. So
right. Okay, so this is a lot of information to kind of for our clients, especially our smaller entrepreneurs, to grasp. And the tools basically bring all of that information together into a dashboard, so that it's so much easier for them to get that market intelligence or that competitor intelligence gathered together in one place. And so that client then can make a more informed decision as they're building their strategy, as they're deciding how are we going to spend our marketing dollars, and how can we position our business against our competitors well. So the intent is to use tools to kind of take all this complex and multi-layered information and bring it all together, so that the clients are accurately identifying who their top competitors are. Because believe it or not, quite often clients don't know who digitally in the internet world, who their true competitors are. They don't realize perhaps that the keywords they put in are really not the keywords that their true customers are typing into Google when they're searching for something. And so they find out that when they do a search to find their true competitors on one of these tools, they find out that the companies that they thought were competitors really aren't. The tool will identify the keywords that are unique to their business, and it'll also identify keywords that they're competing with their competitors, where they have in common. So all of these things listed here, these are pretty complex pieces of data to try to gather independently. Backlink analysis and being able to compare one domain to another right there on a dashboard, that would be almost impossible for the average small business person to dig around and pull together. But the tools take all this very complicated information in a very time-consuming process. They make it fairly easy. Okay. Just real quick, I want to mention that second from the bottom, the backlink analysis. That's a key point for a lot of businesses, that they often overlook the importance of backlinks and having other websites linking to their website, and making sure that the links are quality links. There are organizations out there that say, oh, well, pay a fee and we'll give you 50 backlinks or 500 backlinks, but they're totally irrelevant. They have nothing. They're not really from quality sites, and in many cases can actually hurt their search engine ranking, their search engine optimization. And so a backlink analysis will show where there are broken backlinks or bad, poor quality, and also you can see who your rival is linking to and who is linking to your rivals. And those may be organizations that your client wants to reach out to and partner with and do business with as well.
These tools also let us learn different domains and their niches, where people are. We want to evaluate the distances that we are separated from industry leaders. One thing that you can be a small business and compete, and by doing some of this industry research and using some of these tools, is find out maybe what some of the bigger players are doing and put some of those strategies into your own business. And we want to also, where it says track competitors' website changes, you're going to kind of see some neat tools coming up that allow us to kind of see what our competition is doing without having to go to like their Facebook page every day, or maybe check their Instagram page, or maybe see what they posted on LinkedIn or something like that. So these tools are going to kind of really condense everything down to one resource for you. So one of the first ones, and because this is free and we really want it, this is a great place to start. Maybe with this Google competitive analysis this is a good way to find information on business trends and information related to different search words and also brands. And this can be things like a brand name, but it could also be a product of a brand name. Like if you're selling salsa, maybe it's chunky salsa, or you can like dig down a little bit deeper to find some of this information, and you'll see that you can get this stuff through Google Trends and through the shopping analysis, is find out where in the country people are searching for these particular terms. And depending on the type of business you are, you may want to market to those locations, or using some of the trend tool locators is possibly look at this for new offerings for yourself through a product offering, or maybe even just writing about a new product or content. And this is one thing that we also talked about, is developing content. I mean, we want to put stuff out there that people can tangibly use and find attractive, and when they think about this product, they're going to kind of associate it with your company. One thing that on the third bullet point there down, every business should have, on their website, should have Google Analytics installed. Kind of a little different from what we're talking about, but this is able to judge themselves, and we really need to know that to really go against the competition. So we should have Google Analytics installed on our website. I would encourage everyone to reach out to their clients and make sure they have that. This is a screenshot of the Google Trends page. And as you can see here, this is from the home page if you go to Google Trends. And you can search here on the left where I'm moving the cursor, And in this top box here, you can add a Google search term or a topic. Like this one here kind of gives you, or shows Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian, how they're kind of trending. And then also here where it says pho and ramen and soba, you can see where like the interest in ramen has really jumped up in the last couple of years. And we kind of maybe see that culturally too. I mean, restaurants are selling more ramen. The TV shows, you know, some of the cooking shows are kind of focusing on ramen. So I would encourage you to go in there and play with that. One thing that you want to do is you can do single searches, or multiple searches. And you can compare items against each other and find out how they relate to each other. On the left where it says toggle between rising and top, right here where we have search topics rising, and then this other one where it says search queries, I flipped it to top, but this one also says rising. And these are things where you can find out stuff that may be related to your industry, or could be something like a post or a comment or something, or to provide some information that might be relative to individuals that you want to put your information out to. This, another great tool, the Google Shopping Insights, is another one that's a free tool that lets you get a little bit more information. This is the one that deals more with brands and specific brand items. So I'm going to kind of show you this here, but I would really kind of say go in and play with this. And one thing that you can also get with this is a report from Google, and it's going to give you additional information here. I'm going to search, since I'm interested in skiing and biking and stuff, and kind of we're going into winter and I'm searching for some new ski boots. I'm going to put in Nordica, but you can see here where we have different types of Nordica here for these searches, but I'm going to choose Nordica as a brand. And then the interesting about this is I scroll down, it's going to show me where this is an interest over time. But the one thing that I also like about this is, say if I was a ski shop that was selling Nordica ski boots, or if I was Nordica, the company itself, and I wanted to find out some insights to my market, I would go to this Google Shopping and I can find out where people in the country are shopping for my product. So we see like Vermont, there's a lot of searches in Vermont. The one thing that you have to know here is I can search interest by location. So it's kind of like a population. So granted, the population of Vermont is small, but there's quite a few people searching for Nordica ski boots. But it's also timely going into the winter. You can see Montana is second. But what we want to do is make sure we toggle between interest and search volume. So this is going to be different. So might have a different leader. So really, like California and Colorado, kind of two big skiing states. You know, if we just searched on interest by location, we would maybe only target one of those. But if I was Nordica and I was going to do some social media marketing or kind of put some posts out there, I would try to reach out to people in Colorado. If I can put it over Colorado, if I know my map, Colorado, California, you know, New York. New York's actually the biggest skiing market in the state. There's most ski areas in New York State than any other state. A little fact. And if you go over here, and my dashboard is, you can see over here on the right is where people are searching for this, whether they're searching on mobile or they're searching on the web. And what else you can also do to this is go up and add a search term. So I also like Rossignol, and I'm going to search Rossignol, the brand, and I'm going to compare them, and I'm going to see that Rossignol right here has kind of spiked a little bit against Nordica. Rossignol is a bigger brand. They have more product offering, probably a bigger name. But you can also, if I'm comparing two items, you think you can compare up to 4, you're going to want to switch to Rossignol here and see, oh, so we're still popular in Vermont and Montana. But then if I switch to location by volume, you know, we might get a little different, although these are the same. So but they're skiing states and their skiing locations are going into the skiing season. But you can also see the percentages of comparison of search, whether it's mobile or desktop.
And where this can be from a competitive standpoint, when you can use this to kind of inform clients or help clients be informed about maybe different product lines that they should be focusing on. If there's a particular product line that's more popular in the state where you're located, and their competitors are not stocking that particular line of product, well, that's an opportunity for your client. Or if the competitors all have that particular product line that's very popular, and your client is not, then they might want to begin. And that's good information for them to have.
Okay. Moving on, another free service from Google, and this is something I'm sure we've probably all heard of, Google Alerts. I mean, I've heard of it for years. I've never actually used it myself. I don't know if that's a good endorsement or not, but I'm not in business, so I really, I'm probably not out there using it. But this Google Alerts is another great free service from Google. One thing I should preface with the Google is you do need a Google account. So, maybe encourage your clients to get a Gmail account in maybe their business name or something that they're not going to use for personal, just keep it business. But the one great thing about Google Alerts is you can set this up. You go into Google Alerts and you can create email alerts for any time a particular word or phrase is mentioned. And you can set it up so you get these daily, hourly, monthly, really it's your choice how often you want to get this information. Here where we can search by phrases, or with quotes, or we can do a search where we may be doing two search terms where we're using a plus sign.
Yeah.
And we want to refine our searches to get information. Kind of, Kate said one time she had someone sign up for this, and they just put in a generic search term, and you're going to get a lot of stuff that may not be related to you, and then it's going to be just overload. So you want to work on this and refine this down to the information that you want.
Right. So if your client makes nylon horse halters and you just type in nylon horse halters, you're going to get an alert every time the word nylon appears online, every time horse appears online. So it's going to be overwhelming. That's where you want to use those Boolean search criteria and put your phrases in quotes so that you're just getting nylon horse halters.
The first one of the tools is SERP Stat. This one, kind of like we prefaced, a lot of the tools do a lot of the same things. Some are better at gathering certain types of information than other ones. Like one might be better at keywords, and maybe one is better at backlinks or something. So I've also included a guide here that you can go and take a look at and kind of how to use SERP Stat. This one is good for keywords, analytics, advertising, content market ideation, page audit. API is kind of like how your website works, and it gives you reports and infographics. And then we just did it. This is a little bit of a sample search. I think this one gives you like 10 free searches before it makes you sign up. But again, so now I'm looking at bicycles. I went to specialized.com, and if I were to search on that, you kind of get a little bit of information here. And this is only a sample of the dashboard. I mean, if this was a live demonstration, we'd be able to scroll down like 3 or 4 pages. So what this is kind of showing is like where interest is in Specialized. It's showing like how visible our website is, how we're doing for traffic, organic keywords, the number of keywords in pay-per-click, what are we ranking for organic keywords, what we're ranking for in ad keywords. And then also down here on the right that you can kind of see that's getting cut off is our subdomains, like what are our other popular pages. On the left-hand side is our control panel that lets us toggle between the different types of reports and information that we're going to be able to analyze on this. So The one thing nice about this is you can just go in and plug in any website. I mean, you could pick Specialized or Ford or your favorite food, or even a website that you might have as a client, and just stick it in there and kind of see. I mean, the one thing about this, there's no harm, there's no foul, there's nothing you can do to like mess up the website or anything like that, because you're not actually behind the person's.
Yeah, you're not in their account, you're not in their Google account, or
you're not
anything
in
like that.
anything. You're just looking at it.
Right. And so you can run this for your client, but then also for those 3, 4, 5 competitor URLs.
So another example of what this SERP Stat can do is I also ran a search where I was comparing Trek bikes to Specialized bicycles, trekbikes.com versus Specialized.com. And these are the two search results. The top section is for Trek bikes and the bottom section is for Specialized. So if I was doing competitive analysis here and I worked either for one of these companies or maybe even a competitor company like Giant Bicycles, I would kind of look at this and I would say, wow, like I don't know, I keep getting hit, I shouldn't clicking. Right here on the second website down, or web page I should say, is Trek Bikes. And this, for their kids bikes, right here this is their second most searched page. So if I was Specialized, I would probably go, wow, like where are my kids bikes? They're down here on 4th, and I'm over 2,000 page views behind on Trek versus Trek kids bike. So what I'm going to have to do is go back and say, what am I doing? Like, is there something on either the page there that is more interesting, or is it actually the product? I mean, so this is kind of letting us know, is the product, or is it the page? And also you can do this compare for really all these different types of sub pages within the website for different products, whether it's mountain bikes, road bikes. And again, as Kate said, if you were doing a company that was selling horse halters, we could put 2 or 3 of these in here and see what their page ranks are. So this is a fun thing. And again, this is something you can provide to your client and give them a tool, especially maybe that client that's been in business that you haven't talked to in a little while. I mean, you can reach out with some of this stuff, and I think they would find it interesting and helpful, and it's free. Moving on to another product called SimilarWeb. I like this one because the interface is real easy. I'm not going to demonstrate this, but I would encourage you to go try it. It works real well for marketing, research, sales, and also on the right-hand side with different industries. Here's a little bit of example of what you'd get in the report from them. This is kind of like the dashboard. And again, this would scroll down further, but it's kind of like here, it's telling us what year this was founded, where their headquarters is, what's the global page rank, country page rank, and then also this one here, they're doing pretty good. They're number 5 in this category for sports, for cycling and biking. And the thing is, what you can do is you could click on this and we would know who's ranking right above you instantly without having to go do a Google search ourselves. I mean, this is going to tell us. And down here on the right-hand side, talking about our engagement. So again, if you were Specialized, Trek, or a different bike company, I would be going in and looking at all my competition, seeing, how many page views, where they rank, how long are people staying on the page, how many pages they're visiting. They have a bounce rate of 40%. I mean, a lot of people that go to websites ending up leaving them and not really doing anything, but it also kind of depends on the type of content that you're providing them. Do they want to stay? Do they want to look? And ultimately, do they want to shop? So, go ahead, go check these out. RivalIQ is another service. This one, I kind of call this like the Cadillac, or this is like the class leader of these here. It really combines the web analytics and a lot of the social monitoring. I'm not going to read everything that they do, but the one thing that I really like about this website is the amount of free resources and information. We gave you a couple links down below. I would really take advantage of spending a few minutes to go through those, even though those are RivalIQ a .com post, the information that's contained in is very general. And there, it's not like any salesy or anything. This is really good content to educate yourself on how to do a competitive analysis. And again, maybe it's something you can use to reach out to your client. This RivalIQ, this is a sample of the dashboard. So if you were going to get a report for them, you can see all the different things that you can get into this. And then where it says charts over here on the right, you can combine all this stuff on the left with all this stuff on the right and get these in different charts, whether you want to like monitor YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, you can get these in different charts here.
I think we, yeah, I think
okay,
we
might have that as an example.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this is an example of what you'd get. And we're really, again, this is something that, we want to kind of help demystify this and show that, break this down into different compartments. And this is all with all of them is just compartmentalizing it and look at each section. So I'm just going to look at competitive content. Then I'm going to look at top posts, top mentioners. And I can come over here to the right and toggle between the different tasks that it performs and get a lot of really good information out of that.
Yeah, I think the key here is to just get onto some of these and play around with them and see the information that you can get, and how they recommend that you use it. Each of these are hot links that you can, they're live links to take you to your client's competitors. So in this case, EEE is a client. They gave me permission to kind of share some of the things that we've been working on with them for this webinar. And these are competitors, Coastal Pet, Red Hot Horse, and Weaver Leather. These two being competitors that my clients knew about. They really hadn't thought about Coastal Pet or some of the others that came up in our research as being competitors. So let me just go back to the PowerPoint. While I'm getting back there, does anybody, we're kind of throwing a lot at you. Does anybody have any questions at this point?
If you do have a question, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you, or you can type your question into the question pane on the control panel.
Yeah, so we've been cranking right along. We don't want to lose anyone, and we know that we want to make sure we get, because we do have a little bit more of examples.
No questions?
So we're going to keep moving.
We're going to keep moving on to the next tools.
Well, Buzzsumo is a good one for content, and really kind of in the essence of time, we're probably going to move to a couple other examples.
Yeah.
But Buzzsumo, it just is another one that shows a lot of content that's more for some social, where it really goes with like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, and you can find out information there relating to content and finding influencers. Right.
So you would go to Buzzsumo right on their homepage. You can just type in a topic, a keyword area, and it'll give you a lot of information about who's ranking for that particular topic.
HootSuite is a great social mentioning, social listening platform. The one thing that's nice about this is they do have a free basic one. There are some newer competition that may have more tools right now, but this is one that I would say if people are looking to start with, this is a good platform to start, is HootSuite. And you can go and you can, like this page here with the dashboard, you can get in, you can track by hashtag, app mentions, post, and direct messages. And you can set this up to track different social platforms like Facebook, Twitter. I think it also tracks LinkedIn now and a variety of other places where people are posting to. And this is a great thing that brings it all together. You can see it in one spot.
Okay, so moving on, another tool to check out is Nacho Analytics. And the unique thing about this tool is that it lets you pull competitor data about their pay-per-click, their Facebook ads, their Google ads. It pulls it right in and it displays it inside your own Google Analytics dashboard so that you can compare. So it's pretty neat that way. It does have a 7-day free trial. One of the cons is that it doesn't include mobile traffic. and that the data that they're pulling are from people who have opted in to allow their data to be collected. So that might skew the results a little bit, but it's a neat tool. Spyfu is probably one of the premier apps used or software as a service that's used for competitive analysis. Spyfu and SEMRush, which is the next one I'm going to show you quickly. These are both used widely by agencies that are monitoring marketing strategies for a number of clients. And so they're very, very feature rich, and they might be a little overwhelming, but I want to show you just really quickly what it can look like if you just are even at the free point, looking to see what your clients, how they're doing competitively. So up here I typed in EEE manufacturing, and again, this is a free level, just so you know. The entire report can be exported and provided to the client free. It shows how many organic words, keywords your clients are ranking for, monthly SEO, clicks. It tells you who these are, who the Google, basically, who Google thinks your client's competitors are, their top organic competitors. So here's the client, and then here's where they think. Now let's say Uniquely Equine, well, they're not really one of EEE Manufacturing's competitors. These people are retailers. EEE is a manufacturer of equine equipment. These folks are a retailer. They're more of a client or a customer of my client. You can delete them, and you can go up here and you can add in an actual competitor and add that to the, oh, I didn't type it in right because I'm going too quickly. But anyway, you can type in the actual competitor so that you can make a good, accurate comparison. Okay. So the other thing that's very unique about Spyfu is that it lets you look at how your client's keyword strategy overlaps with their competitors. And it shows you what keywords that they have in common. So here it's showing that there are 21 keywords shared between EEE Manufacturing and Uniquely Equine. And then down here, these are unique to just KY Bridal Works. This is important information to have. And then over here, Spyfu is giving you some clues as to some keywords that you might want to take a closer look at. So recommendations, these are keywords that both competitors rank for, but that maybe your client doesn't. In this case, there aren't any, which is a good thing for my client. But there might be a list of keywords here that your competitors are ranking for, but you're not. And then these down here are keywords that you are ranking for, but that your competitors aren't. So these might be the areas that you want to capitalize on. Okay. It gives you a rundown of what your most valuable keywords are, as far as, you know, the ROI, your clicks to the click value, gains and losses in rank, and then which keywords are getting you onto page 1. Okay, so there's a lot of information on here, and all of it, this was all free, and it can all be downloaded and as a PDF. Okay. Any questions on that? So Spyfu does have a cost to it, but you can buy it for a month at a time. So if you're going to do this quarterly, maybe just, or every 6 months, maybe just buy it for those months. SEMRush is really sort of another one of these Cadillac tools. There's a ton of information because it was built specifically by search engine optimization of agencies and for them. So there's far more information in here that probably most of our clients would need. But what is unique about it is that it allows a side-by-side and a domain versus domain comparison on the dashboard. So that really is quite nice. And if you have a client that you know is going to have a very competitive market, it may be worth signing up for that free free initial. I think what it does, it lets you give 3 or 10 reports free initially, and you can run all of this and get a good pulse, a good benchmark of where you need to be going with some of your marketing strategy. So again, let me peek in here. I believe I have SEMRush open somewhere here. Did I? Maybe not.
No.
No.
Google. Gmail.
In Gmail. No, that's the other one. So all right. I guess in the interest of time, we're going to move on here then. Okay. So this is a peek at the dashboard within SEMRush. This goes on, if I could scroll, it would go on for, I swear, half a mile with data. It's just incredible what's all combined in here. But here you can see, in this case, this is a competitor of one of our clients, and you can see how they're doing with their organic search, and see that really they're confident in their position in the market for organic search. They aren't even bothering to spend any money on Google Ads or Facebook. They're not doing any paid. They don't need to. They're dominating the market. So it gives you a sort of a glimpse into what their strategy is. And then you can also, this is typically a link. You can open this up and see where their backlinks are coming from. Okay. Competitors app is very cool. Actually, I just found this tool as we were researching and preparing for the webinar. What Competitors app does is it pulls all of the information, really the key pieces that a small business might be interested in, pulls it all together, and emails the information to you. So you don't even need to go into all these different tools and find it. You register, you give it the 3 to 4 URLs that you want it to track, and then it pulls it all together and sends it right to your inbox. It looks at all of the marketing emails that the competitors are putting out. It looks at their ads. It looks at their social media posts. So it does take a little bit of time, probably I'd say 30 minutes or so, just to set it up so that it knows what it's tracking. And then it does it for you. It will also let you know every time your competitor makes a change to their website. So if they add a new product onto their product pages, if they add a blog article, if they add a news article or something along those lines, if they have a new staff person that they're introducing, anything along those lines, you're going to know if they make changes to their website. It will also subscribe you anonymously to their opt-ins. So if your competitors have opt-ins or newsletters that they can sign up for online, Competitors app will sign up for it anonymously and then forward all of the emails to you. So you're able to see what the competitors are, how competitors are using email or newsletters to communicate and market their products with customers, with leads. So it does have a free trial. Even after the trial, it's really not very expensive. I think it's like $9 a month. Very simple setup, and it saves a lot of time. Okay. The only con is that it's a newer tool, and so there are fewer. It's kind of a smaller user base in the U.S., but it is growing. And here's a little peek at what the dashboard, if you log in, if you want to look at everything at any particular time. This is comparing, I don't know if you can see this, but it's comparing America's ASBDC to Ed2Go, to edX, to our website. I ran this because I was interested in seeing how we ranked against some of the other providers of online workshops and education that small business marketers might be interested in. So you can see the most popular posts. You can see the social media activity of each. So this color, these are blog articles that are going out. These are Facebook posts. These are Twitter, and how you rank against competitors. Okay, whoops. Okay, I keep scrolling because I think it's live, and it's not. It's a screenshot. Okay, and then the very last little tool, this is going to be a real quick one, and everybody can do this. This Keywords Everywhere isn't so much a tool as it is, it's a plugin. It's just a very free, it's a free Google plugin. You can just do a search for keywords everywhere and follow the instructions to download it and activate it on your Google. And then every time you type anything into Google to search for it, on the right-hand side there, you're going to see this little related keywords pop in. It's really interesting to see when people are searching for something, you're going to immediately see, well, what else are they searching? What other keywords are related to this? It provides clients with some neat ideas for blog articles, for example, or blog topics. And up here, right, you'll see also added right here where it says volume. For everything that you type into Google and search for now, you're automatically going to get this information delivered right to you. The number of searches per month, an estimate of the cost per click if you were to use this as a keyword in an ad, and then the competition. And competition is ranked from 0 to 1, with 1 being very competitive and anything down into 0 being, less competitive. If you click the stars on any of these, it favorites them and stores them for you and will continue to monitor them specifically. So it's very simple. It's right there in front of you. Once you set it up, it's always there. It's free, and it allows you to track keywords, every time you use Google, basically. Okay, so pulling all of this together, it's a ton of information, and we really just want you to know that in order for our clients to use this kind of data properly, they need to be able to find it easily, and these tools simply make it easier for them to find it. We as advisors, by getting in there and playing with some of those tools, we can become better at understanding how this data should kind of funnel or direct their strategies, and then we can help them to make good informed decisions about whether or not they want to spend money on pay-per-click, what pages on their website need to be revamped, should they be doing more with email marketing. This allows them to position themselves well against their competition.
And we're also encouraging people in this, since we're giving you a lot, is really to start slowly, is maybe just choose 1 or 2 and just play with it for a little bit, and then maybe go on to a different tool or add another tool as your skills and really you kind of like your comfort level grow. And this is the same thing with your client. We don't want to just throw something at them, especially some of the people that are not, the most tech savvy. We can get a report, but I don't think we want to just throw a report at them. We want to kind of like bring them along slowly and educate them and kind of, let them see the value in this as they learn too.
Right. And have 1 or 2 goals when you start using the tools. So if your client is, says, I don't know, everybody's telling me that I should be buying Google ads, and I don't really know if that's going to help me. You can say, well, let's see if your competitors are spending money on paid search. Let's look at their PPC campaigns. And you can use these tools to do that. So focus on 1 or 2 things that maybe your client, information your client is asking for, and these are tools that you can help them get to that.
And really, one thing that Kate and I have noticed in working with all of the clients that we worked with the social media internship program and our social media outreach is that we really are encouraging people to set time aside as a business function. They have to have social media or website development or web time at least a half hour a week, maybe get together with their team, whether it's an individual, maybe, you could start with them or get their team and put some time together, whether that's, Monday morning at 10 or maybe a Thursday at 3 or something like that, is just get a half hour on the calendar. And to go along with that, since we're talking about competitors, is we're saying we should look at this maybe at least quarterly to start, because again, it is a lot. And then on top of this, we're running our own social media, for our business. But one thing that this also lets us do, if we are doing this quarterly, if I'm a local restaurant, I may be so busy, I may not even know what other type of restaurant opened in town or anything. So I might want to see what else is out there. Who am I competing against? And this types of tools will let you notice that.
Right.
So start slowly, commit time to it.
Absolutely, and encourage your clients to have some kind of accountability within their organization. Who's responsible for doing this? Who are they going to assign this task to collect the data and kind of look at it on a quarterly basis? They may want to outsource doing this, but truly, you know, if they're willing to put aside, you know, an hour. What do you think, Scott? Maybe an hour. It's going to be a little more time intensive the first time because they need to get to know the tool. But once they understand the tool, probably an hour or so a month, you know, checking in and looking and seeing what's going on. It's not a huge amount of time. These tools make it much easier because they bring it all the data together.
Mm-hmm. So we included just some links, and there's a few links within the article or within the presentation. Those are for you, and we'll just, you know, kind of open it up to questions, or,
Yep.
you know, if anyone has any questions now, we would also be available for questions later, or if anyone wants a, you know, individual demonstration, we would be happy to, you know, give you a little bit more individual counseling.